You already had the sale. That's the part that's going to sting. On some of your best calls, the ones that got away, you had already won. The person was ready, and then you kept talking and you lost it. This one is called the overflow and is the most common one I see because it comes from a good place, which makes it very hard to notice you're doing it. Here's what it looks like: you make your offer, you name your price, and the person goes quiet for a second. And that quiet feels to you like doubt, like something's wrong, like you haven't done enough. So you rush in to fix it. You add another feature, you explain the value again, you throw in a little more. Oh, and it also includes this. And some people find that, and just so you know, and somewhere in all that extra talking, you do one of two things. Either you overwhelm them, or you say the one thing that introduces a doubt they didn't have 30 seconds ago. And the yes you already had quietly turns into, let me think about it. Let me show you exactly how this happens because it's so fast you won't catch it unless you know what to look for. Picture a consultant on a call. She presented her proposal, she named her fee, and the client says, okay, this looks really good. That's it. That's the moment. The client is in. All she has to do now is say, wonderful. Here's how we start. But the client, this looks really good, is followed by a 2-second pause. And in that pause, the consultant panics. The silence feels like hesitation. So she feels it. And of course, if you need extra revisions, we can build those in. And I'm flexible on the timeline. And honestly, some clients like to start with a smaller scope first to test it out. We could do that too if you feel more comfortable. And the client who was ready to sign at full scope now says, you know what? Let's start smaller and see. She just talked herself out of half the deal. The client didn't ask for smaller, she offered it into a silence that was actually a yes. There's a version of this that's even quieter. Some people never actually land the ask at all. They circle it, they hint at it. So, yeah, if that's ever something you want, we can maybe set something up. There's no clear question there for the person to say yes to, so they don't. Same pattern. You talked around the thing instead of saying the thing and stopping. Let me tell you why this happens, because once you see it, you can't unsee it. Two things are going on. The first is that silence feels dangerous to you. When the buyer pauses, you read it as a problem. But a pause is not a problem. A pause is a person deciding. That's what deciding looks like from the outside. You're watching the sale happen and mistaking it for the sale dying. The second is deeper, and I want to sit on it for a second because it's the real root. Underneath the over talking is a quiet belief that your offer isn't quite enough on its own. That if you stop, they'll see through it. That the value isn't really there unless you keep adding to it. And that belief usually isn't about the offer at all. It's about you. Somewhere you learned that you have to over deliver to be worth it. That you can't just take up space and let something you made stand on its own. So you keep piling on, not because the offer needs it, but because you need the reassurance that you've done enough. Here's the cruel part. The over explaining is what signals the doubt. You keep justifying it, and the buyer thinks, if she has to work this hard to convince me, maybe there's a reason. Your insurance is what causes the loss. The thing you're doing to feel safe is the thing costing you the sale. So here's a swap: make your ask and then hold. Say the thing, the offer, the price, and one short question. That's the offer. What are you thinking? And then you stop and you let them answer first. You let the next voice be theirs. If you have to do something with your hands and your nerves in that silence, ask one short question and then go quiet again. But do not fill the space with more selling. The space is where they say yes. If you're talking, they can't. Now I know the fear here because it's a real one. You're thinking, but what if the silence really is doubt? What if they need more information? I just sit there and lose them by not saying anything. Here's the truth: if they need more, they'll ask. A real question from the buyer is a gift, and you answer it. But you wait for the question. You don't answer questions they haven't asked yet, because most of the time, the silence isn't a question at all. It's them saying yes to themselves. And your job is not to interrupt that. Training this is about learning to stop, which is harder than it sounds when your whole body wants to keep going. Write your ask as a closed unit: the offer, the price, one short question, and then nothing. Practice saying it out loud and stopping hard on the last word. Feel the stop. That's the muscle. Then drill the silence on purpose. Say your closing line and then stay quiet for a full 5 seconds by the clock. It's going to feel like forever. Do it until 5 seconds of silence starts feeling like failure and starts feeling like room. And on your next call, when you make the ask and the person goes quiet and you feel that pull to keep talking, catch it, name it. That's my overflow. And hold. Let them speak first. You will be amazed how often the first thing they say is yes. You had the sale. You just have to stop talking long enough to let them give it to you. The overflow is one of 5 ways people fumble the moment. If you're not sure whether this is your main one, the quiz in the first link in the description will tell you which pattern is costing you the most. Take the quiz below to find out which pattern is yours.